Hey, what's going on, guys? It's CandL podcast coming at you for number 6.
Number 6, yes.
We're on 6.
This is episode 6.
It feels like 10, but it's just 6.
Yeah.
And this episode, we wanted to talk to you guys about video games.
Video games.
Video game consoles.
Everything.
Nostalgia of the older
Console
systems.
wars, everything.
Everything. Anything we can, anyway. I don't think we'll
Right.
be able to cover every fucking
Anything
thing.
we can shove in a little bit of time.
Yeah, sure. And like always, bullshit, kick the shit, shoot the shit,
You know all that shit.
all the shit.
All the shit.
The shittiest shit you could ever think
It's
of.
really messy, shitty milkshake consistency shit.
Let me tell you a story,
All right, let's hear it.
okay? I got a story. It's story time up in this motherfucker. I'm feeling like story time.
All right, story time. All right, let me get comfortable.
Grab your popcorn.
Grab my pop. Light a cigarette.
There was once, okay, and I know you think I'm fucking with you right now, but I'm going to try to tell a story. Like,
You've kind of duped me a few times before in the
Yeah,
past, so I am a little skeptic. But
I've
continue.
I've gumped you.
You do you.
And there was this guy, he was about in his early 20s, right? And he moves into a house by himself. It's decent,
Okay.
and he's in college.
Mm-hmm.
And, he parties, but he's a good kid. You know what I mean? He'll drink with his friends and shit. He'll throw a party or whatever, but he's a good kid. And he moves in and stuff, and he looks over across the street in the house across the street from him. And there's a young boy that is facing the house in the swing. He can see his back.
Okay.
And there is a man pushing him, probably
Okay.
his father.
Oh, okay, okay. I see the picture now.
And he's swinging and stuff, and the guy looks over, the dad looks behind his shoulder, right? And the kid waves at him, and the dad kind of waves back but doesn't smile or anything. And so he goes inside, he's moving all of his stuff. Well, that night, to celebrate the fact that he has his own house, he's having a little party. And his music was kind of loud,
Mm-hmm.
and it's rattling the wall. He's 22, whatever,
Right.
he's in
Partying
college.
it up. Partying it up.
So the man that was pushing the kid that day, his neighbor, comes over and knocks on the door. And the kid answers it. And he says, "Oh, hey, I'm your neighbor so-and-so." I don't remember his name. Okay?
Neighbor so-and-so.
Neighbor so-and-so.
All right.
And I just moved in and all this. He didn't say that, but I'm neighbor so-and-so. And the man says, "Oh, hi, I'm Frank." He says, "I'm Frank. Nice to meet you, but the reason I came over here, because it's like, 11:30. He's
At
like,
night?
yeah. It is like, the music's kind of loud. It's kind of
Right.
late. We're trying to go to bed over here." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't think about it. I just did it." And he's like, "It's not a problem. It's no big deal. I was just letting you know it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
bothering us a bit."
You live in a neighborhood.
So they talk for a minute and everything. And he says, and the kid, brings up eventually, he says, was that your kid? Was that your son you were pushing in the swing? And all of a sudden the man's face gets pale. And he just kind of stares at him for a second. He says, "Yeah, that's my son." And he's like, "Oh, okay. How old is he?" He's like, he's 11. He's kind of being odd at this point. So the young guy doesn't think much of it. He's like, they talk for a minute. Dude even gets a beer from him. It's late at night. They have a little talk on their porch. Have a good, good conversation. They get cool. Dude even has a beer with him.
Mm-hmm.
He goes back. He says, "Thank you for turning on the music. I'm going to go back now. Go to bed." So some time passes. And the kid wakes up in the morning, hungover, beer cans everywhere. His new house is trash. There's people sleeping on the floor.
Right.
And looks out front. He can see through the blinds. He looks out front and he sees an ambulance.
Oh shit!
Out there, out at the neighbor's house.
What kind of story are you telling me, dude?
Let me tell you something.
Like
so he looks outside. There's an ambulance. They're putting a body in a body bag in the ambulance, and there's an older lady with the boy that was swinging.
Okay.
So he immediately looks over there and he says, "What happened?" You know, he goes over there and he tries to talk to the older lady. He's like, "Oh my God, what is everything okay? What happened? What's wrong?" And she just kind of like gives him this snarled look and grabs the son and goes back inside. Okay, so he's like, you know, what the hell? Fuck? So he goes back to his house, you know, and he has a beer because that's, you know, gonna cure his hangover. He's slamming a beer, having a smoke on his back deck.
Mm-hmm.
And he hears the chains from the swing across the street.
Scary.
Might be. Could be if you're in that situation. So he goes to the blinds again, and he sees outside, and the old lady is pushing the boy in the swing. Boy's facing the house, so he can only see his back. He hasn't gotten a good look at the kid, but the woman's pushing the boy. She has a bottle of pills in her hand, right? Well, the kid's starts almost seizuring out and growling and shit and just being weird, starts shaking and growling. And the mom gets a couple of pills, gives them to him. He eats them out of her hand and bites her hand. She flips out ow, But he goes after those pills.
Wow.
So the kid said, well, maybe this kid's got a disorder. Maybe something's wrong with him, and they just don't like company and stuff,
Right.
But he's still curious as to who was the body. He's not seeing the man anymore.
Right.
He's seeing the wife, and that was a dead body because he was in a body bag. So he's still very, very curious. Okay. So the day goes on. He's kicking it, playing Xbox with his friends and shit. He still has a couple people over that are just kicking it with him all day. Smoking pot, whatever, doing 22-year-old things.
Right.
And it's later that night. He goes on his porch to have a smoke. He hears the swing across the street. So he's like, oh, it's pretty late. It's not necessarily, it's probably 8 or 9, which isn't very late, but at the same time, it's kind of late for this kid to be out swinging. What the fuck? Especially if he's got issues and shit. So the kid looks over through the blinds. He goes in the house, looks through the blinds, and it's the kid swinging, right? But he's staring at his house now. He's no longer facing his home. He's facing the 22-year-old's house, looking at him. And he's staring straight at him while he looks through the blinds at him, and it kind of freaks the 22-year-old out, so-and-so.
Damn.
He kind of jolts him a little bit. He's like, what the fuck? What the hell?
That's
he's
weird.
been swinging
That's
the whole...
strange, yeah.
Nobody's out there with him. He's alone. He just hears...
Right.
And he's staring at his house. So he peeks back out. Well, now it's just the swing.
Oh, shit.
The swing's the only thing they're swinging. So he's kind of a little panicked.
This thing's gonna come up and
he's not panicked, but he's kind of alert. He's like, oh wow, what's going on? This is kind of weird. It's kind of strange.
I see what you mean.
He's not scared yet. Right. He has no really reason to be. He's just kind of well, what the hell's going on? He's curious because of everything that's happened.
Right.
So he opens the door and he goes across the street. He's like, maybe this kid needs help. What if his mom, what if he's, anything's a possibility. So he's a nice kid. He's a good kid. So he runs across the street. Well, he looks by the swing. Nobody's around. And he sees the bottle of pills.
Oh, shit.
And he picks it up. And he takes it to his house, And he didn't really know why he took it to his house. He just did, you know. He's like, well, maybe I'll catch him in the morning because it's late. You know, he's like, I'll catch him in the morning, you know, not thinking much of it. So he wakes up and there's another ambulance out front. And he said he panics. He says, oh, shit, this might be the kid. I took his medicine. And now he might have had a thing, and he didn't have his meds. He starts panicking, and he's like, he can't breathe. He's almost hyperventilating. He's scared, shitless. They roll out another body. And this time it's just the boy sitting there with, like, social workers and shit.
Oh, shit.
So the social workers put the kid in the car, take him off. And he's sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? I've seen 2 bodies go in the past 2 days, one after another. And everything's been being weird and stuff, but he still has that bottle of pills. It's on his dresser. So it's later that night. This kid smokes. He goes outside, smokes a bowl, has a smoke. You know, he's alone now. Everybody's went home. It's now Sunday. It's been the weekend. He's got to go to work in the morning, you know, and in college and stuff.
Right.
So he's out on the back porch. He's having a cigarette in a bowl.
Right.
He hears... It's the swing. So he's like, well, fuck, they hauled the kid off today and the 2 bodies. He's like, who the fuck's in the swing? So he gets instantly curious. He runs to his blinds,
right,
checks them, and it's the kid. It's the middle of the night. It's dark outside, and the kid's just staring at his house swinging.
Holy shit.
Okay, so he's like, he's kind of getting a little scared. He's like, what the fuck is going on? What?
Right.
Like, you know, I watched them take him away. The parents, nobody was at this house all day because they took him. And then, so he gets a little panicked. So he doesn't know what to do. So he goes, he's like, I've got the pills. I'll give him his pills. Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he's got a problem. He doesn't know how to.
There we go. Yeah.
Get them. He's like, so I'm going to take him the pills. He goes and grabs the bottle. From at this point, it's in the kitchen.
Right.
Or no, it's not in the kitchen. It's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
He put it in his bathroom. And so he hears his door slam when he gets in the bathroom to grab them.
Oh shit.
Okay.
That was a good door slam sound.
So he's terrified now. So he's like, the only thing he knows what to do at that point is like, who's in my house? Who is it? Right. So he goes around the corner into the hallway, goes down the hallway, and the front door, nothing's open.
Right.
It's so he's like, what the fuck? He's looking around in his living room, his kitchen, and all of a sudden he hears his bedroom door, which is at the very end of the hall, creak open.
Right.
Okay, and he hears growling and snarling, and he says, this kid's in my house. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, this. He's scared, shitless now. So he like peeks around the corner, and he sees the kid like crawling and growling at him, and he's slowly creeping towards him, like,
well, fuck this,
freaking out.
Yeah.
And the guy has the pills in his hand, so he looks at the kid, and he says, Is this what you want? Is this what you... I swear, I'll give them to you. I don't know why I took him. You know, he's panicking. The kid stands up, and he snatches the pills from the guy's hand and runs out the front door.
Okay. So he just wanted the pills.
It's a true story.
True story?
I'm just kidding.
What?
I literally wrote that on the spot.
Oh, my God. Okay, well, I was riveted.
I wrote that on the spot because, ladies and gentlemen, I had a point to that. I know it sounded like a bullshit story. I had a point to it. The scary tales to tell in the dark. Remember those books?
Yeah.
They're making a movie of it.
Oh, nice.
And it looks like a legitimate horror film. Like a really good one. And that's why I did that, because
Alvin Schwartz.
That kind of reminded you of one of those stories, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, did I do good?
That was a little bit of nostalgia.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we get
a
a little... I wrote that on the spot.
Little clap.
I'm just kidding. I heard that on YouTube.
You fucker.
But I was like looking up creepy stories and I heard that, and it was a good. When the guy was animated, so it was like it was freaking me out. Like it was a scary story, and that's not necessarily the everything. That was like
Right.
my own version
That's
of
your little
what it was.
abridged version.
That was really the cream and butter of what it was. Anyway, yeah, that was kind of weird. Can I have a cigarette? I'm trying to quit,
Yes.
but are these
So
Camel
you want
Whites?
one? Yeah, dude.
Jesus fuck.
I mean, if you
That is
know,
that's the size of some people's dick.
yeah,
dude.
go big or go
Jesus.
home. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So-
you better go home
you
then.
better put it in your mouth and light it.
Better start trucking.
You put your high heels on, head home.
The topic that we wanted to talk about tonight was video games.
Yes.
Okay.
As we've already said.
Video games are one of my personal favorite outlets.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe because video games are the perfect way to, especially nowadays because they're a lot like movies,
Right.
is to experience another world, experience another life.
Control it. Be a part of it. You know, it's
Absolutely.
It's a wonderful thing.
I want to start at the very base of
Very beginning.
our personal video game history.
Which would,
I want to hear about your very first system and what that was like.
the very first system was ever was a Nintendo Entertainment System, the original, the NES, dude. 2 controllers, Mario.
Oh wow!
You know, went
The
to
original
town.
Super Mario.
Mm-hmm. The original Italian Plumberman.
Oh wow!
It was
First of all, just kind of off topic, but not really. Wasn't that movie god awful? The movie was fucking horrible.
But I've watched it a million times, so I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've watched it so many times.
Look at the actors in it. How come they couldn't do better?
I love it.
The actors were great. Like
Yeah.
you like that movie? You love it?
Well, just for what it is. It wasn't very well done, but I love it for what it is. It was,
Yeah.
it was good shit.
I like Dennis Hopper in that movie. I
Yeah.
like Dennis Hopper in anything. He's fucking
Mhm.
badass.
Yeah, he's a beast, dude. Total beast.
So you owned a NES was your very first one.
Mm-hmm. NES had the Mario Duck Hunt. It was in the same within the same cartridge. It was Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, and had the gun. Had that orange and
You're a
green gun.
huge Zelda fan too. Did
Absolutely.
you play the original
that's,
Zelda?
That's when it all began. I remember my mom bought it for herself, and because she thought she'd like it, and it was the first one, and it was a gold card. It wasn't really gold, but it was a gold cartridge.
Oh wow!
A gold NES cartridge. Like fucking. And I remember she started playing it. Loved it. I loved that. The whole premise, like you pop up in the cave and it's dangerous to go alone out there, and he gives you a sword and a shield.
It was an adventure.
Yeah, and in the
is what it
Japanese
was.
version, he gives you a Bible, but not in the American version.
What? You
Yeah.
would think that'd be an American version?
Don't know. I
Wow.
don't know.
That'd
Separation.
be the Bible Belt.
Separation of church and games.
Yeah, I guess.
Something like that. I don't know. But it was wonderful, and which also like I've played almost every title. I didn't play. I don't think I played Four Swords, but I played all the new ones except for the new one coming out, the remake of Link's Awakening. I haven't played that yet.
you played the Nintendo Switch one.
No, I haven't.
Kylie has that. Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I played that one.
That thing looked cool.
Dude.
I used to play on the Wii. Me and you used to play fucking Twilight Princess on the Wii all night.
Yeah.
We kicked ass at that fucking game.
Yeah, we did. I knew that game backwards and forward.
We even made a Zelda rap.
We did.
That was funny as hell.
That was funny.
Those good times, dude. I like the Wii.
The Wii was fun. We've really made a significant jump in Nintendo anyway, but
yeah, all video games have made a significant jump. Holy shit!
it's true in the era that we grew up in. We saw one console after another. Like I remember the Super Nintendo. Got a Super Nintendo, and it was even better than the regular Nintendo. It was better graphics. It was
Absolutely.
It was awesome. I remember that being the top of the line. Can you imagine that? The newest console, and you've got it in your home. because your mom loves it.
My mom and I used to stay up till like 3 a.m. playing Super Mario Bros.
Oh, dude, we used to stay up all that. She showed me how to get the warp whistles and stuff in Super Mario 3. Taught me all that. I know those games in and out, dude.
Oh yeah.
And nowadays when I play them, I just speed run through them. I've been through all the levels so many times that I'll see how fast I can just get through the
That's how I do
level.
Sonic.
Just
That one of my first systems that was like technically my very first one was a Sega.
a Sega.
I got a Sega with like a Altered Beast,
There you go.
Beavis and Butthead.
I knew you were gonna say that.
That
Yeah.
game was so redundant.
It was
You have to search everything before you
I
find your
know.
thing.
like
you know?
Beavis and Butthead would ever do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They'll just give up and go bang on a trash can and jack off.
Have you ever seen the Angry Video Game Nerd?
No, I don't think
I
so.
gotta show you the Angry Video Game Nerd. He's awesome. He breaks down how shitty video games are.
Well, I mean, even shitty games, even all the shitty games I like them. You know, like the shittier the better, almost like because I feel like that's like a part of my past that's like slipping away, but it's still here. There's still games being released to date, like on a 16-bit format.
Yeah, like look at fucking what Minecraft has done, dude.
Oh, dude,
And it's just blocks.
yeah, it's just blocks.
Think about if you would have had the game like Minecraft back in the day on that shit.
Man,
That'd be intense. That'd be like the best game ever.
I don't think any little kid could have fathomed something
Comprehended
like
that,
that
at the time. Yeah.
This
I don't even think a grown man could have comprehended that.
the,
at
the
that time.
processing of all that like just didn't exist. Like
Right. It's like when you think of what our kids are going to see, because back when video games were invented, nobody had any idea it could go this far.
it's true.
You couldn't comprehend it. So it's like we look at our stuff and go, oh, ours, you're not going to top that. But it's like, no, they can, because they were probably saying that back then when they were playing those little,
Little Game Boys
pixel fucking, yeah. Game Boy was awesome. Portable games are a
Dude.
great idea.
I remember Game Boys, man. I had a couple of them, like a clear Game Boy Pocket,
Yeah.
and then I had like a dark green Game Boy Color.
Did you have any accessories for it?
Yeah, I had the little Game Boy camera and stuff, and you get the Game Boy printer, and it would print
Yeah.
you off little pictures. And
But it was black and white, right? Or was it color?
in the Game Boy Color, it was when it printed out, it was black and white.
Right. Those, I remember Game Boys. I had so many fucking games for the Game Boys, and then when Game
Oh, I
Boy
know.
Advances came out, it was like such a step ahead.
It was.
You know,
It was pretty cool. My little brother had one.
I
It
had
was
a,
super cool.
I bought a PSP. My grandma gave me $500 one time to quit smoking cigarettes when I was like 15. She was like, I'll give you $500 to quit smoking. So I was like, yeah, I'll take that. And I took $500 from her, and I went and bought a PSP, a bunch of movies and shit.
Wow.
I had like Texas Chainsaw Massacre for it, Freddy vs. Jason. I grabbed a bunch of movies, and then got like a Grand Theft Auto for it and stuff. Grand Theft Auto, I remember when I was a kid, Vice City had just come out, like right after 3. And
Right.
Vice City was huge. Everybody was talking about Vice City. Everybody was playing it, and I didn't have a PS2.
I remember that.
I was like, fuck, I want a new system. You know, I still on Sega and shit. I was like,
Yeah.
I want a new system. You know, they've got PS2s out. I had played PS1. My grandma used to have a PS1 at her house. We'd go play and like play fishing, or Spyro
Right.
was a big one. We played Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
I always played Twisted
I
Metal.
remember Twisted Metal.
Vigilante 8 was a lot like Twisted Metal, but I felt like Vigilante 8 was better.
Right.
But you could argue that.
I like
guess.
Vigilante 8. That was a pretty cool game.
I loved Vigilante 8. And it was like, I remember when Vice City came out, it was my birthday, and I asked, my uncle had brought, he brought me a PS2 and Grand Theft Auto Vice City, specifically, because I was like, I really want that game so bad, you have no idea. I plugged it in instantly and just played it for days and days and days. Like, I could not stop that game.
Wow.
And that was the very first Grand Theft Auto I ever played, was Vice City.
Nice.
You know,
The
and
first
then
one I ever played was 3.
3.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had heard about 3 a lot, but I was, by the time I wanted to play 3, Vice City was already out, and I was like,
Right.
oh, well, now I want to play that because everybody's talking about that.
Mhm.
And, you know, I'd like to say San Andreas was the first one, but it wasn't. You know,
No.
San Andreas was huge.
Yeah.
But
It was huge. It was after Vice City, and it was cool. It had a super large map.
I like I like that idea better of in the hood and shit because that makes more sense.
Right.
Like the mafia thing was cool, you know, and then as it went on, it was like it started out in like a mafia thing, then it went kind of gangster, then it went to like with Nico Bellic's like a foreigner who's kind of almost like a terrorist,
Right.
and then the newer one was just criminals, just you know, modern day criminals
playing off the system.
Grand Theft Auto 5 was huge. That game,
dude, it's still huge.
Wow.
Still huge. Still one of the highest grossing games of all time due to microtransactions. I mean, they've made an additional, 16 some odd million on just that.
Just like add-ons and online play,
and then you factor in the cost.
Shark cards.
In order to get online, to even have a shark card, you got to buy a copy of the game. So you factor all that in. Like it is. I mean, it's cash cow for them. Cash cow. That's what helped get. Red Dead back up in order, and
Right.
Red Dead 2 came out.
Red Dead. Oh my god. Red Dead as far as story mode, perfect.
Oh yeah.
As far as online, you're 50%.
Needs
there.
work. It's brand new and needs work.
Right. We already had a whole episode. That was our first episode.
Yeah.
But they've updated it since then. Whatever. I think that.
I don't think it's all for the better though.
I love open world games.
Love them.
I love open world games. I love RPGs. Customize everything I can customize.
Right.
The more I can customize, the more I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love Fallout. Fallout's one of my biggest. A huge Fallout fan.
Right.
I like the first-person shooters too. First-person shooters are fun.
They're all right.
I like Call of Duty.
Not my most favorite.
I like playing Call of Duty. I like zombies most.
I like those. I love zombies.
I think my favorite genre of games would obviously be horror.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember playing games for the Xbox 360 called Condemned. It was Condemned 1 and then Condemned 2 Bloodshot. And it was a game where there was like scary shit coming at you, but you could like fight it.
Oh.
Like you could pick up it was brutal. Like you could beat the shit out of them, or you could pick up it was just like a fight your way through it game.
Right.
But it was still scary. Like you walk in this room at one point and you're walking through and it's kind of dark in this building you're going through. You go through like a doll factory and these little dolls walk after you and blow up, and it's creepy. But they're awesome games. I'm walking through this room and there's a mannequin in the corner, and you walk through and you turn around and there's like 2 or 3 mannequins behind you, and then you go through the door and you leave the room, and when you turn around, the whole room's full of mannequins.
Oh, fuck that.
You know what I mean? It was
that
awesome fucking game.
Dude.
Both of them. And it's got guns and shit like that, but you've got like detective equipment. It was like, yeah, you're like, you're
there to figure something out.
You got like forensic
I see.
stuff.
It's not just mindless ghoul hacking.
Exactly. It was so perfect the way they did it. It was fighting and it was shooting, and it was also like a Batman, like you're looking for fingerprints and there's a gunshot on the wall. What kind of bullet was it? Things like this. That's what attracted me to it. That and really good story. Another game that did that was creepy was Manhunt. Speaking of Rockstar, Manhunt 1 and 2 did that. Mad Max, I think not Mad Max. Max Payne. Max Payne was really, really good games. And but those aren't necessarily open world. My favorite horror games, because I remember Resident Evil was really cool. Resident Evil was awesome.
I really liked Resident Evil 2. That's where it was for me. That was one of my favorites.
You like Resident Evil 2? Didn't they just remaster that or remake it?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember playing the original on the.
I love them all. I like
PS2, I believe.
1 was super. The nostalgia for that was cool because I never played one. The very first Resident Evil I ever played on a video game system console, and it's, in my opinion, still the best Resident Evil they've ever made, was Resident Evil 4.
Oh.
Hands down, with Leon and you're going to look for the president's daughter. The gameplay was amazing. It was the whole new laser system. It's when they added the red dot and everything, and it was just so wonderfully done. I played that game so much, and that's my favorite.
Right.
But when I went to go play the first one, I realized what made the fourth one so great was that it was a brand new take on it, because
Right.
I didn't realize what the older ones were, and it was like the movement in those games is so odd.
Yeah.
And it's like a third-person camera angle in the
Mhm.
corner of the room, and that's the only angle you get. And then when you hit a certain spot, it changes.
Right.
You know, that
Creepy. Keeps you
right? Yeah,
entranced in it.
those games are awesome. And Silent Hill, Silent
yeah, I
Hill
was
was
gonna say,
amazing.
you played Silent Hill.
I played Silent Hill Origins, and the main character is a truck driver named Travis. I
Nice.
loved that game. Creepy as fuck.
Wow. Yeah, I bet.
You know, honestly, man, I don't get a lot of time to play video games anymore. I know me and you play Red Dead a lot. Well, not so much
Yeah, but
anymore. My
lately.
internet service sucks.
And with the new download, it's not been.
I'm
that-
gonna
as it
finish out the
was. I
story
haven't
and
been
probably
playing.
leave that alone for a minute.
That's what I've been doing. I've not even opened it up.
I might even get Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
You know, because I remember
Let's
that
do
was
some
really
missions, bro.
fun. Yeah.
Let's
Oh
do
yeah.
Some fucking heists.
We'll play. I want you to get zombies, dude. I'm addicted to that shit.
Zombies.
Nobody likes it because it's repetitive, and you have to have a short mind span to play it. That sounded wrong. Like, I'm not stupid, but
You gotta be this tall.
it's like you're trying to get it's pointless. Zombies is the most pointless because you don't keep, unless you're playing online, it doesn't keep track of your level. You don't level up. They've made it to
kill
where
as
you,
many zombies as you can before you die.
Yeah,
That's all
but
it
you've
is.
seen me play it.
Yeah.
It's like you gather the shield, and then I'm obsessed with the shit.
Yeah.
You
we'll
go to
give
the
you a
mystery
few
box for the
random
gun.
remedial tasks, so you
You
can
drink the sodas. I love the system they have. The gobble gums were a good idea.
Mhm.
I'm playing a lot of Black Ops 3 Chronicles.
There you go.
Zombie Chronicles. Me and my kid are playing that. That Zombies is awesome, dude. I was playing Zombies. This is how much of a nerd I am. I was playing Zombies. I brought a mini TV, a mini flat screen,
Mm-hmm.
and my Xbox when Christopher was being born. Kylie was like, "We're going to have to stay a few days in the hospital." I was like, "I'm going to take the TV and the video game." She didn't think I was serious. I took it.
There you go.
I set it up in the corner, and the nurse was laughing at me and shit. She's like, "Yeah, my kid plays that all the time." I was like, "That's
Yeah.
fucked
well,
up."
get
I was
outta
there
here.
for the birth, and I was there for
Yeah.
her when she needed me. But when she was like sleeping,
On your
and it was
downtime,
just-
you were,
yeah.
you know,
When I was
zombieing it up.
bored, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna play zombies."
Yeah.
But oh god, there's so many good video
you-
game memories.
Do you remember the Nintendo 64?
Hands down, one of the best systems
Dude.
ever created.
Love that. I was so amped to fucking have one, dude. I loved it. I like the PlayStation. At the same time, PlayStation was coming out, and I even remember my friends in school like, "I don't know, you get a PlayStation or Nintendo 64," and I was like, "Nintendo."
I
64.
feel like Nintendo 64's
I wanted
graphics
it.
was better.
I wanted to play Mario 64. You know, Super
Oh,
Mario
that-
64, Pilot Wings,
What was GoldenEye?
GoldenEye.
007 GoldenEye was
Wanted to play
excellent.
GoldenEye. Love that game, dude.
Turok.
Turok.
Turok was awesome.
I could only play that game with a Game Shark though.
Really?
Turok was I just couldn't.
It's hard.
Dude.
Jesus, I remember not even getting past the first part.
It's
I
so
was
hard, dude.
aggravated.
It's really hard to kill a raptor, okay?
Mhm,
Like,
yeah.
you know, I can't do anything about that. It's fucking hard as shit.
I played on the Nintendo 64. I played a lot of Zelda. I played a lot.
That's what was huge. Zelda went huge at that whenever their Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time came out for the Nintendo 64. It was huge. It was like a whole new level of Zelda.
Oh, it's an awesome game.
It was the first 3D
Mhm.
Zelda ever. And
That's when 3D was hitting.
and the story at the time, like
Those scrollers were just
was amazing.
dead.
Had an amazing story. Everybody loved it. It put Zelda back on the map. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's been huge ever since.
Absolutely.
Zelda is awesome. One of my most favorite is The Legend of Zelda.
I can't play Zelda so much anymore, but if it's like
I can't.
if I go
don't know
back
what it
and
is.
play Twilight Princess or the ones I used to like
Right.
Breath, if I started to play Breath of the Wild, I'd probably get into it, but I just
Right.
don't have the time.
I played Breath in the Wild like when it first came out because I wanted it, dude. Because the only way I could play it, there were the Switch had just come out, and there were just none to be had. They all got bought up, and for months
yeah.
they're like, "Oh, we'll let you know we have more." Like Walmart just would never have them, And so I fucking went online, bought a Wii U, brand new on Amazon, cost me like $460.
Oh wow.
Because it was one of those things. It's like, somebody has it, you pay the money, you can get it.
Right.
I found one of the first ones, and it had everything and a little face case for the Wii U thing, and I was like, all right, bought that shit just so I'd have it, so when Breath of the Wild came out, I can have something to play it on.
That's how I did Fallout when Fallout 4 was coming out, because
Mhm.
I loved Fallout 3 so much. I threw down for the game system before I bought the
Right.
game.
Yeah, I fucking love it. Loved Breath of the Wild, and then I played it. I beat it, played it over and over. A few times. I started up another few different save files, and it's fun. It's a great fucking game.
I have always had a thing for fighting games, almost like Mortal Kombat.
Like Mortal Kombat. Oh, I love that shit, dude.
I always wanted them to make a horror version of that with all the horror movie characters.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because Mortal Kombat dabbles into it a few times. Like they put Freddy in the 9th one, and then in the 10th one they put Jason and Leatherface. And
right.
This one they're putting I think Pennywise as one of them, and they're trying.
Right.
And Terrordrome has done that, but that's such an older game on the computer, that it's kind of dated. But it's got everybody you could think of: Ash from Evil Dead.
Right.
I think that'd be a fucking awesome idea.
Oh, that'd be dope. With the chainsaw hand.
I thought it was stupid that people petitioned for Mortal Kombat 11 to be to have Shaggy in it.
Shaggy?
Scooby Doo.
What?
Yeah, there was a petition with 200,000 signatures that said people wanted Shaggy to be in Mortal Kombat.
Because they thought it would be cool.
That doesn't make any sense. Mortal Kombat's so brutal, you would have to turn Shaggy into a scrubby stoner, which I guess would be cool, but he's not necessarily. He just doesn't fit in with the whole serious tone of Mortal Kombat.
Right.
I think it would make it goofy.
Well, and the people that probably own the properties to Shaggy probably said something probably similar. Like, we're not. That's
that's stupid.
This is Shaggy. We're not going to release our rights to this character so you can change it into some murderous thing. But you never know. Fuck.
That was a weird fucking deal. They're also there's a petition going around trying to make Wonder Woman in the next film a bisexual. So it's like,
oh, why?
I don't know. Other than she's hot and they probably want to see her make out with a chick. That's kind of misogynistic more than it is progressive.
It really kind of is. Yeah. We want more opportunities for more action.
People are taking advantage of the movements, man. Yeah. It's like, hey, we want to be progressive here. Let her make out with a chick.
Dude, in 15 years, one of these people are going to, be brought up on charges of molestation or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I get it.
We need her to be bisexual. What are you willing to do for that?
I always liked the old school stuff, and I still like the old school stuff to this day, like Donkey Kong, Mario,
most
all
definitely.
the cliche stuff. But it's the modern stuff that's blowing my mind.
It's amazing. It's getting better and better all the time.
Far Cry 5. I was so happy when they came out with a Friday the 13th game.
Right.
I was so excited. And listen, Friday the 13th as a game is an awesome idea, and what they put out is awesome. But what they did was they fucked us.
Yeah.
Okay, because first of all, they asked for, I think it was $600,000 or something like that. I believe it was $600,000 would do the whole game.
Wow.
Well, they got almost 700,000. They got 100,000 more than they needed. I don't know the specific numbers. That sounds right.
Right.
But it may not be. But I remember they got more than they needed by a lot. And then the game was late. The game was buggy.
Right.
And people were pissed. They were like, what the fuck is this shit? You released me a cell phone game. So it's buggy. It's just so fucking. It was a fun concept, and so people were so excited that they were so upset. They
fucked it up.
They hurt a lot of horror fans with that, because we were like, dude, the idea and what it is now, they've fixed it. So it's it's better, and it's what it was supposed to be, but it's not It's not necessarily everything people wanted for the money they got. They got more than they needed, and not only did they do that, they released it for $40.
$40, huh?
40.
$40.
Which that's to be honest, Friday the 13th with what they've done with it, that's a $25 game at best.
Yeah.
I hate to be like that, like, because I love Friday the 13th and I even like that game, but it's they fucked with it way too much, and it's like, you know, I paid for the digital copy, so I paid $40,
Right.
42 something for the digital copy, and it was so laggy, it was bullshit. They got caught. Instead of making the updates they promised everybody and everything they promised everybody,
Right.
they quit working on the game to go work on a new zombie game they had. They're like, well, we're going to work on this project. And people are like, no, bitch, you're not done with this one. What
Yeah.
the fuck? Like, you can't do that shit. Finish the goddamn thing. You know?
That sucks.
And it's like, we're seeing a lot of that lately. Yeah, even with the huge companies. Like I said, Red Dead slacking.
Yeah.
You know, that's Rockstar slacking. You've got Anthem's crashing systems. Did you hear about that? Everybody
No.
got excited about Anthem, and it's been crashing like PS4s.
Oh, shit.
And so people are getting their money back for the game because they have literally had to buy a new system.
Wow.
And people are pissed. I'm like, I would fucking be too. Finish the goddamn game. How much money do you people make to make a video game? You're doing your passion. Put some fucking heart into it.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Yeah,
when
do
you have
it,
to
do
drink a
it.
Red Bull instead of a computer and do code. I do construction. Come work for somebody who's not even from this country, who
Yeah.
doesn't speak English, and then talk shit about you. You know what I mean? Go walk in my boots, son.
There you go.
You know, straight up. I don't know. They're slacking hard, and that was one game they slacked on. Was like, I paid the money for it. I was excited about it, and it's still a cool game. It's a really cool game.
Right.
Excellent
You're just
idea.
let down.
I was let down. And it hurt because Kane Hodder was involved. We talked about how Kane Hodder wasn't involved in Freddy versus Jason.
Mhm.
He plays Jason in the motion capture for the game.
Oh, cool.
So everybody was like, "Fuck yeah!" They got Sean Cunningham, who made the very first Friday the 13th film. He's the director, pretty much the founder of Friday the 13th. So they got him involved. They've got Kane Hodder, and people are like, "Yes, you know, this is what we wanted," and they fucked it all up. They threw it in the trash. They didn't care.
Damn.
They were dicks, dude. And when they finished it, they literally, I think, I don't know details, but they literally will not be updating the game because they got thrown off the project or some shit. Like the rights, they lost the rights because they took too long.
Oh.
So now the rights are being debated for a film now instead of the rights for a video game. They took time to pause the movie,
Wow.
to not make a movie. They just like, we'll find writers and we'll get a script going, but for now we can't start making the film until the rights are done with the video game.
Right.
So they got the rights, they got everybody involved, and those bitches not only didn't deliver the first time, but then went to go work on a different game, and looked at everybody like, what did you want us to do? Fix it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they
Didn't.
they lost the rights because they took too long. So it's like they fucked us because now we'll
fucked
never
up.
get any updates for that game. They will not be adding anything. There was talk about they can add if they can get the rights to Freddy, they can do a little like fight mode like Freddy versus. There was so many possibilities and they threw it the fuck away. I'm so tired of watching them take great ideas and just tossing
And there's no reason for that. Like there's just no reason. I'm
not
so
with
glad.
the money we pay for video games.
It makes me realize that sometimes I take for granted all those old things, like from back then and that time, like all the Marios and stuff like that, games that were beautiful and awesome and fun.
Do you remember back when you could put a video game in and it started instantly and you didn't have to wait for goddamn uploads and
Nothing.
installs?
It just turned on.
You put a video game in
Press start,
now,
motherfucker.
good luck.
Yeah.
It's going to take a day.
Yeah, and in 5 minutes after you're done making a sandwich and your system boots
cheese
up and
sandwich.
everything, you're ready to go.
It is what it is. They just keep fucking us in video games.
But it's at least it's good. I mean, I do enjoy playing video games like still even today. But I mean, and then there's there's Xbox. I think that just seems to be the whole world today. Xbox and PS4.
Yeah, it's almost monopolized into 3 groups: Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember playing the original Xbox? The very
I do.
first just Xbox?
A big old black Xbox. Yeah.
I remember getting that
with the
thing.
little
That was
green top.
That was when I
Circle.
upgraded from my PS2 to that, because that's when I became an Xbox kid.
Right.
Because I was like, damn,
It it became a better platform to play on with your friends. There wasn't any online, but they would sell these cords, these super long cords you could plug your system up to your buddy's system, and then he's got 4 players, you got 4 players.
Yeah.
So like, you and 7 of your buddies are fucking having a good time. Like,
Oh yeah. It was
we would do that all the time.
it was a
I
step in
remember
the right direction as far as multiple player.
I remember my gamer tag back then. We played a lot of Halo. My gamer tag then was Poopy Pants. That was my gamer tag.
What the fuck?
I just fucking I fucking quick scope people just super quick and be like, nonsense, Poopy Pants. And
That's how I
Make
play
'em mad.
zombies. It's just pop pop pop
pop pop pop pop pop.
Yeah, I liked Halo. Halo 3 ODST was
Mhm.
a really good one. I like how you can create maps and all these things. Grand Theft Auto 5 did that too.
Yeah, you could
if
kind
you're
of
online,
create.
you can
You could
a
create
map.
missions. You could you could create stuff.
See, it's creating, man. That's what
was fun.
that's what Minecraft started. Was the whole Minecraft is awesome,
Mm-hmm.
but like the idea of Minecraft could be way cooler. Like the closest thing to Minecraft with better graphics would probably be Sims.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like they're working on it and it's going to come. It's just I'm not being patient enough. Like Fallout 4, the coolest thing Fallout's ever done is added the creation of the housing.
Yeah.
You can create
build your
so
fort,
much.
yeah.
You can decorate it. It's like you create your armor, like so much customization, so much of a big free world,
Mm-hmm.
and you do whatever you want, whenever you want. I like that freedom in a video game. Far Cry 5 is the same thing, but not so much creative. It's just more or less, we'll give you a big map,
Mm-hmm.
and here's a set of rules, and here's a set of things you can do. Yeah, you can dress them in different clothes, but I mean,
Yeah.
and I guess it's not as customizable,
Right.
I guess, but it's still just as fun, I think. I don't know. It's like
I can see what you're saying there. Like, I think that's why I really liked Breath of the Wild when it came out, because it was the first time in a Zelda game where you had tons of different armor sets and whatnot. You could mix and match. You know what I mean? But
a little more customization.
a little more.
It makes it
customization with
personal.
it. Mm-hmm.
It's like during the Red Dead episode when you said when Arthur Morgan dies, and I dressed him, and
Yeah.
I chose his clothes, I picked the horse out and shit.
Yeah.
That's what it
was
is.
like-
Is you get a little more attached.
You're attached to the character. Yeah.
Like, but still, I still find games that aren't that at all, and
Mhm.
they're still really great. Like I said, Resident Evil. I love Resident Evil has a mode where you can and it started in 4 where it's called Mercenaries,
Right.
and if you want to play with the second player you can, but you try to survive just as many zombies as you can with different bosses. Like
Right.
there's a boss or 2 on each map, and they come out every so often, and you're just trying to
Mhm.
survive time. You have to go break these like hourglasses, these highlighted hourglasses, and break them, so you add more time to your clock, and the clock's counting down really
Right.
fast, and you're just trying to get as many points by killing and building time, and it's
Right.
it's nuts.
Huh.
It's really fun. But yeah, I'm hooked on zombies right now.
Zombies.
Yeah.
Zombies.
I've played so much zombies. It's
You really
ridiculous. It would make a normal person retarded. It really would.
But your zombie threshold
I'm
is through the
zombified.
roof.
I'm zombified with zombies. I even watched Return of the Living Dead 2 today.
There you
So
go.
I don't know. I don't like zombies, but it's been a deal for me right now.
Yeah, you were watching that when I got here. It
Yeah.
looked really cheesy.
It's not as good as the first one.
I don't
The
think
first
so.
one was corny, but Jesus Christ, like I didn't think it could get worse. Yeah, I don't know, man. I remember I want to get Mario Kart 8.
Mario
I want to
Kart
try
8. That was a
Mario
good one.
Kart. Have you seen what's fucked up is, dude, they're like virtual reality is cool and all, and I like that they're working on that, but the other things they're working on are so tacky, like the Nintendo Switch with the cardboard shit.
Yeah,
What the fuck is that?
like it's
It's like you went ass backwards. Like, here's some cardboard to play with your video
you
game.
can build different things. Here's a cardboard piano.
I mean, don't get me
um,
wrong, it's cool for like a kid, but
Yeah, that's not. I think those are probably things that are age appropriate for not adults. I mean, I wouldn't have that sort of setup. Like,
it looks like too much work.
no, I'd be playing games like Zelda and shit. I didn't need no
Right.
cardboard parts.
You just put the controller in there, and then when you move, like, it's just weird how it is.
I absolutely love about the Switch. Like I can hook it up to the TV and you get a nice good big
and
TV,
it's portable.
so it's nice.
Yeah.
And then you can sit, and then you're holding both of the controls in your hands, and you can you're not just bound to one little controller,
Right.
which is also fine. I'm used to that too, but having them like that it's much easier, less stress on your body.
That would seem like it'd take a minute to get used to.
No,
Almost.
you'd be surprised. It's almost natural. It's like this is what you're gotta attune yourself to get used to,
Right.
instead of you can lay upside down on your couch and still control Link perfectly.
That's how some people used to play Guitar Hero.
Like, it's pretty cool.
Guitar Hero was cool. I used to have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I
And-
remember
and
when that came
Rock
out, it was
Band
huge.
and shit like that.
It was
There's
fun.
video games are awesome. I just wish I had more time to play them.
Yeah.
I played one natural disaster game one time. See, you'll find random gems. That's the beauty about video
Yeah.
games is there's so many of them, and everybody makes video games.
Every once in a while, one will come out, and it's
You'll
like,
find
damn,
a really
it's
good one.
game.
See, we used to play on the PS1, like I said, Twisted Metal, Vigilante 8, but my
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
game to play on the PS1 was Sarge's Army, or Sarge's
Heroes.
Sarge's Heroes, Sarge's War, whatever. And it was the little army men with
Oh,
the
yeah.
little green army men with the bases on their feet.
Like the Toy Story shit.
Yeah. And you would actually play in like big backyards. You were in somebody's bedroom and
Having
you
a
were
little fucking toy battle.
little war, yeah. That was always really fun.
Never leave a man behind.
And then there was the worm one. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but it was a series of worm games where you're a fucking worm.
Earthworm Jim.
I think so.
I think that's
Something.
I think that's what you're
We
talking
used to
about.
play fishing. We used to have a
Earthworm
fishing
Jim.
game. Fishing is in a lot of games now, I've noticed. They're adding... See, that's what the beauty of it is. We're creating games where, like I said with Condemned, it's multiple different aspects of certain games. You got your shooter,
yeah.
your detective, your story. You've got so many things in place to satisfy everybody that it's unreal. Far Cry is a first-person shooter, but you can also drive in that motherfucker. You can also... what the fuck can you do in Far Cry? You
I
can
don't know.
hunt.
I don't
shit.
play Far Cry games, man.
You can fish.
I played like Far Cry 2 with my buddy Brandon for
You don't play Far
there's
Cry?
a period of my life there that me and him played it all the time.
Far Cry and Left 4 Dead. Or not, no,
I
no,
love
no.
Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead's good, but Dead Island.
Never played it.
Dead Island is a lot like Far Cry, but with zombies. Is all it is.
Somebody told me it was a shitty knockoff. Is there any truth to that?
Part 2 has Jack Black in it. Jack Black's the main character you play as.
Oh wow,
Which seems interesting.
I like Jack Black.
I like zombie games if they're done right.
Have you
I
played
mean-
that game on the Super Nintendo? It's called Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
That sounds really familiar, but I've never played it.
Super fun. It's water. They can't do water, so you're running around with squirt guns, spraying zombies.
Yeah. I've seen a first-person shooter with Nerf guns.
There you go.
That was cool. Oh God, man! I used to play. My cousin. One time, I walked in there one night, and he was on the computer playing this game where he was like SWAT team or a cop,
Right.
and he was like arresting people and handcuffing them, and
okay.
it was like a police game or some shit. I loved the hell out of that thing, but I didn't know how to play it because it was on the computer.
Right.
And he was getting frustrated with me because I was like, how do you do it again? Can you show me? Can you play with me? Kids do that all the time. Like my kid will, it's so weird. He wants me right there
Right.
to play for him. But then when he gets to a
To
cool
get him-
part,
he wants
he's like,
to play.
oh, let me play. You got past the hard
He
part.
needs
Let
to
me play."
learn to,
Get
you
past it, yeah.
but he's young. He'll get it figured out. He already has a lot figured out for his age.
He's spoiled.
He's got them games.
But yeah, one of my I like simulators too.
Yeah.
Simulators
those
are really cool. One of my favorite simulators is like obviously Sims is cool,
right.
but Tropico.
Never heard of it.
You've never heard of Tropico?
Never heard of it.
Tropico is basically a game. It's wonderful. It's a leadership simulator. You get your own island,
Right.
and you can customize the island.
Oh, that's cool.
It starts blank. You start in like the 1500s or some shit. You start in like old times,
Mm-hmm.
and you work your way up. You
Okay.
can, and
So
then
you
you just you build this island, and it's a bloodline of people you set up as the leader. And when one leader dies, the other leader takes
Right.
over, and it's like or you can just sandbox it and play in modern times and just
Right.
build an island. But I played the story mode, and that's you start out in like the 1500s, and you have to build these houses, and you have to wait for people to show up to the island. Awesome fucking game.
Wow.
Very, very detailed. You have to do trade. Every now and then it'll pop up and say, oh, you're at war with Russia, or you're at war with America. Like, you start your own country and you build it.
Right.
And you can choose whether or not you're going to be like militarized. You're going to have tourists. No, you don't want terrorists. Tourists, like at tourist attractions, you know,
Right.
all those things. And it's just a really, really cool game. You build roads, and you build their housing and
Mm-hmm.
stores and entertainment places. You have to keep them happy too, because they'll vote you out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they, you know,
Oh,
you can
shit.
you can choose whether they have elections, or you can choose, we're not having elections, I'm a dictator.
Wow.
That type of thing. I always gave them elections because I would win. Because you just try to be as the best leader you can, basically.
Right.
And it shows you the happiness, the money you build in. Your money will build up from like a big ship will come in, and it'll bring people, and you can choose whether those people are educated. And it's so many little details. You know, you can
Wow.
do trade embargoes and stuff. Really, really fun game. If you get a chance to ever play that, I suggest it
Right.
highly. Because I like simulators. I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
I'm nerdy.
Yeah.
Like, I like the Elder Scrolls, but not a lot. Like, I prefer Fallout, but like, I like Skyrim, and I always liked Oblivion,
Right.
Morrowind, you know, basically the Elder Scrolls. Those are
Right.
badass games. Skyrim blew my fucking mind. That was an awesome game. I was, like,
Skyrim's awesome.
fighting dragons and shit. Like,
It's
that's
pretty fucking cool.
badass. You watch, if you go on a Lords of the Ring.
Lords of the Rings.
If you go on a Lord of the Rings bender one time, or any time, or every time,
Mm-hmm.
whenever you want to, and then play those games, it's fucking even more epic.
Fuck yeah.
Because, like, your mindset's like you're fucking you just
You're in
watched
this.
all three of the Lord of the Rings.
Nah,
Now you're
Just
you know,
watched all 3 Lord of the Rings. Now you're going to start The Hobbit. You know, fuck it.
But yeah, video games have evolved so fucking much, and at the same time that they're getting better, like we've talked about, they're getting worse as well. The people that are making them are getting lazy, because the technology to make them is probably getting easier,
Right.
and they just have to create more. Basically, they have to
Right.
work more, and they don't like it, type deal. I don't know. That's what it seems like. They're just being lazy with it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, there's really good games that come out, and then it's like, even when they have their problems, people are understanding. But it's like, like I said with Friday the 13th, when people don't complete the game and then look at you like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you got way
Get
more
outta
money
here,
than you
dude.
even asked for originally, and
Right.
you still couldn't deliver? Like, what the
You
fuck?
guys squandered it away on whatever the fuck, and then
Mhm.
delivered a subpar product. Like, get the fuck.
They made profit and
Aye.
fucked it off, dude.
Fuck
And then
'em.
tried to make a zombie game. We're like, we ain't playing none
Fuck
of
'em.
your fucking
I'm
games
never even
anymore.
going to buy it. I'm not even going to even support
Gun
that shit.
Media is the company, so don't fucking
Do not
support Gun
support.
Media. They're losers. They had a good
Quitters.
concept and they shit on it.
Quitters.
Fuck them. Fuck them.
They're just quitters.
Anyway, I don't know. I used to have a lot of fun. My kid likes Sonic and all the
Sonic.
old stuff.
The Hedgehog is a fucking classic.
There's a movie coming out of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Really?
Did you know that? Live action Sonic?
Really?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be like CG or?
Yeah, it looks CG. It's like real world, but it's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit style, I
Right.
think.
Well, that'll be
But-
cool. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a
Fuck.
not been a fan of
If it's anything like the fucking Mario movie, it won't be.
the Mario movie. I think they should have waited, but
They should have done a cartoon. There
like
should,
I said
there's
earlier,
no-
I thought that it was it's still a classic, even though it's
you
terrible.
know what video game deserves a live action movie is Zelda. It actually
Yeah.
has a goddamn story to it. Mario didn't
That
have a
would be
story
cool.
to it. It was like so simple. If you're gonna do a story to Mario, yeah, do an adventure like cartoon.
I think they should have focused more on that. on making a Zelda or something, you know.
Zelda would be an awesome movie. You could do
That would
Link and just Link growing and because isn't Zelda like different worlds each game? It's the same different universe, like it's the same characters,
it's
but
the same soul.
Right.
It's the same soul, but through the generations, like the hero is reborn,
right?
Because that gets passes on. You know, if the goddess, you know, which is the soul which Zelda carries, is the soul of the goddess, because it gets reborn as well. Because Hyrule always has to have its queen, always has to have its hero, and so it does. And that's how it does it.
And the hero grows up in a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like a elf.
And some of those links, some of those different links, get to be privy to the knowledge of this. Like you have the soul of the hero. You've done this so many times before, you know, like, and then some links, it's never. They were just events happened and they had to go on this, you know, adventure that, you know,
right.
It's crazy. I love it. I absolutely love it. The whole thing.
It's sad that it's like VHSs. Like, it's sad that their arcades are obsolete now.
It's true, but when the home console,
well, you literally have
out,
your phone in your hand that can download all these emulators and all these arcade games.
The only thing that does good for arcades is if you serve alcohol as well.
Yeah,
then it works out. Then you get the machines that just pump full of quarters, you know.
Yeah.
And you're rolling in the dough, 80s style.
Isn't there a place downtown called 1984?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that one serves alcohol.
I don't think so. It's a family, but I know they probably have food.
But there's a place over there by the theater it's got games set up. You can Mario Kart it, or you know.
Isn't it Dave and Buster's?
No. It's a bar. It's just a place. It's a bar that has all these video games.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Playing Gauntlet and shit, drinking beer. Like,
when marijuana goes through with the marijuana laws, what they need to do is build a smoke bar, like a hookah bar with fucking video games in it and shit. That would be dope as fuck.
The Doors playing in the background.
The Doors.
The fucking Doors.
Fucking Jimi Hendrix.
But that would be cool. I think that would make good money.
Oh yeah,
people would come in and play the games.
Video games make a lot of fucking money when it's $60 a disc.
Shit, yeah, it's making money.
$100 for the excellent edition, you know, bullshit like that.
The ultimate.
It's always bullshit. It's like you're paying $40 more for probably a character, a gun,
horse.
It's always a weapon, a horse, anything. It's always a weapon, a piece of clothing.
Yeah.
Here's a little car nobody wanted in the game, but we put it back in there for add-on content.
Thank you for giving us money.
And these little motherfuckers eat it up.
Oh, yeah. They got to buy it because they see their friend and he's got it. And it's like, hey.
This one comes with a special pistol.
I want to download Excalibur and, you know, kick his ass with it. Like, so
yeah, it's ridiculous.
For $15.99. I need this, Dad.
I'll buy a map if it's like $4 or $5. I'll buy a map.
I can see that.
Depending on how much I play the game, if I like it, you know. But a lot of add-ons are just bullshit. If it's not extra content that you can play, it's not worth it. It's like always a piece of fucking clothing. I don't care about
I don't care, but I don't need a purple shirt.
It's like it's like Red Dead has the nerve to give you a bandana for $15.99.
Here is a hat with a snake on it.
It's like, what the fuck?
It's like,
there's a bar of gold for $10.
Whoop-de-doo. And you're like, well, okay, at least this is new, and I'm going to buy this hat with a snake on it. And it's like, oh, coming soon.
Yeah.
Thank you for waiting for the update. Coming soon, you can get your fancy snake hat.
Here in about 2 weeks.
And only one of the new guns that we promised is available.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Enjoy your
We ran out of digital codes for the guns, boys.
Well, I think they gave it to the PS4 players first. Like,
I fucking hate that PS4 players get shit before Xbox players.
Oh, goodness. It's a fucking fiasco.
But I'm going to probably upset a lot of people, but Xbox is better. I'm not a big Microsoft fan, and I don't like Apple.
I don't
like going that direction, but Xbox is pretty much... if you like, I get a lot of shit for saying that because people are like, dude, two fucking words, right? Red Ring.
Red Ring.
You know what I mean? Red Ring killed
baby. Oh.
Xbox's reputation.
Killed it.
But they fixed it.
That's true.
You know,
You don't hear that
I have
shit
a
anymore.
refurbished Xbox One that is probably like, goddamn, 4 years old at this point.
It works.
4 or 5 years old, and it's killing it, dude.
I think
like,
they've identified what the problem was and fixed it. Like, because their sales are better than ever.
right. I just think Xbox is better. It's a better. I don't know how to describe it. Like PS4 always gets really good games. Like, I was so upset. I'm not a huge comic book fan. I'm not a
Right.
huge superhero guy. But when Spider-Man came out, I know one thing: the Spider-Man games are fucking bomb, dude. Like,
Yeah,
the Spider-Man
fun.
games have always been good. So when this brand new one came out for the new systems, I was stoked. And then they're like, "Oh, it's just a PS4 release." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
The fuck.
Because Sony.
Yep.
Sony, doesn't own. A lot of people don't know that Sony makes the Spider-Man movies right now. You know what I mean? The same. The MCU is Sony.
Right.
Like, Sony has their hand in that, and it's like Venom was made by Sony. The new Spider-Mans are made by Sony, so Sony can be all like, our video game system is going to be the only one with Spider-Man because at this moment we own the rights to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Genius. I mean, I can't hate them for it, but it's bullshit.
true.
I want to play Spider-Man.
Well, eventually they'll release it for Xbox and they'll make a ton of money.
I highly
from
doubt it
doing it.
because look at Gears of War.
Eventually they will.
Or what is PlayStation's version of Gears of War? We have Gears of War and they have
I don't know.
Xbox has Gears of War and PlayStation has a couple.
I don't know.
It's like that.
I've
Like
been-
Halo's only Xbox.
Right.
It's only Microsoft. It's a fucking monopoly.
But it's not though.
And
Because
people
these
are
all
funny.
Different companies. These are all different.
People are funny because they think they're beating the system by getting both systems. They're like, I'll just go out and buy both, and then I'll
It's
have
like,
everything. I'm
oh,
like, yeah, but
dude.
you just threw so much money at these people, and they both win now.
Yeah.
Like, I
That's
like
true.
I like the competitiveness because it makes them step their game up. But if you're not stepping your game up, what's the fucking point?
It's true. What's the point?
But I don't know.
What is the point?
There wasn't one. Other than if you ever play Sega, make sure you play Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
Moonwalk. I played that. I actually downloaded an emulator
He's looking
on,
for
on an old
Addie.
laptop
Yeah.
and played that shit. It was cool.
Annie. He's looking for Annie.
Mm-hmm. He's got his white fedora on and his suit in the game, and he's moving around. You jump over tables and shit.
They don't even play. It's like when one of his special moves is like the Thriller dance. He makes like 30 dudes line up and do the Thriller dance, and they all die.
Damn.
That was a stupid game.
It really was.
I don't know, but
Reminded
video
me of those
games.
Terrible fucking games like Home Alone. Dude, the game is fucking terrible.
Yeah, the angry video game nerd sits down with Macaulay Culkin and does an episode about those games. You would really like that show. It's a YouTube deal. Just go look up
I'll
Angry
fucking watch
Video
that
Game
shit.
Nerd.
I
He's
will.
fucking hilarious. He does the Friday the 13th. He does like NES games, old school games.
Right,
like,
right.
But I don't know. I love video games. You love video games. We all love video
We
games.
all love video games.
That might even have to be a part 2 eventually. I'm sure we'll figure out what we didn't talk about.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But that's as much as I am aware of video games as far as my world goes.
Oh, there's so much more. It's not thinking of it right now.
No, it's unreal
But
how much more we've covered.
we don't have
Literally like
time.
a percent
Yeah,
of video games.
yeah. We might have to
There's
expand
too
more
much.
on it on a later date and time.
We'll lay it a date.
A later.
We'll
date.
do horror 2 eventually. We'll
Yeah.
get to it. And maybe we'll fucking surprise ourselves with another topic. I don't know what the next topic's going to be, but we'll
And then when somebody
pull
fucking
it out of our
comment,
ass.
somebody say something.
Yeah,
How many
Lau's,
times I gotta
Lau's getting
fucking sit
upset
here?
because nobody's commenting.
Every time I've sat on this thing and come on, say something.
I think it's funny because I wonder how many people are getting to this part of the podcast.
Right.
The ending.
And yeah,
How many people are actually
no one's
listening?
listening right now. Say anything right now.
Fucking dog dicks and yeah,
See, no one can hear
dog dicks. Nobody's
you.
fucking.
Nobody's listening.
Fucking no one cares.
By this point, everyone's like, ah.
I listen to you guys yab about whatever the fuck for an hour.
I listened to 30 minutes. I'm out.
I was out by 10 minutes, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Good job.
Sounded good, man.
Anyway, fuck it. I guess I'll just act like somebody's listening.
Eventually someone will.
Eventually somebody will find it and be like,
Yeah.
it'll be an inside joke, and you'll know. You'll be the one guy that listens to the last part of the podcast.
You'll be the one super fan of Cotter and Loud.
Yeah, we'll make T-shirts and shit. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
If you're listening to this,
Send us your shirt size.
send us your shirt size in the comments.
Send it to us.
And if I'll know who actually listens to the podcast when they do that. Because if nobody comments, that means nobody listens, and you guys are assholes for that. I put a lot of work and time into this. But if you don't want to listen, I'm not going to make you. So whatever. Anyway, that was CNL podcast. That was video games. That was episode 6. We love you guys.
Episode 6.
Episode 6 out the door.
Peace.
Take it easy.